Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Back here with Prabhupada again at Matchless Gifts. This seems to be the go-to place on cold winter days.
Yes, a shelter.
For reading. So, yeah, remembering our shelter. It's almost a year since we've been here in New York. Still got about 1 month to go.
Oh, man.
But remembering...
That's what we used to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So we're reading from the Bhagavatam.
Canto 4, chapter 22, text 47.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 47. Prithu Maharaj continued, how can such persons who have rendered unlimited service by explaining the path of self-realization in relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whose explanations are given for our enlightenment with complete conviction and Vedic evidence, be repaid except by folded palms containing water for their satisfaction? Such great personalities can be satisfied only by their own activities, which are distributed amongst human society out of their unlimited mercy.
That's one heck of a sentence.
Yeah. Yes, reminds me of Prabhupada though, isn't it? How can we repay him, you know? I guess we can if we distribute books for free, but even then we can't really. But if you think about it, when we reach the spiritual world, you'll be like, whoa, you know? What did you do, you know? Actually, even before then you can appreciate. Anyway, that's when I was reading that, I was just thinking like that, Prabhupada. Purport. Great personalities of the material world are very eager to render welfare service to human society, but actually no one can render better service than one who distributes the knowledge of spiritual realization in relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All living entities are within the clutches of the illusory energy. Forgetting their real identity, they hover in material existence, transmigrating from one body to another in search of a peaceful life. Since these living entities have very little knowledge of self-realization, they are not getting any relief, although they are very anxious to attain peace of mind and some substantial happiness. Certain persons like the Kumaras, Narada, Prahlad, Janak, Sukadev Goswami and Kapila Dev, as well as the followers of such authorities as the Vaishnavacharyas and their servants, can render a valuable service to humanity by disseminating knowledge of the relationship between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity. Such knowledge is the perfect benediction for humanity. It's interesting. One thing stands out, like when Prabhupada, he lists spiritual authorities, or he'll list names where it's understood in that or this line, not that, this line. Of course there are like Mahajans, of course there are people like Narada, Prahlad, Kumaras, Janak Maharaj, you know, Sukadev Goswami. I mean, to be fair, Janak Maharaj and Narada Muni I knew of because of my Hindu upbringing. I guess in that sense, Prahlad Maharaj, but none of the others, actually, to be honest with you. But then I'm just saying what stands out is Prabhupada, for him it's like, there you go. These people accept, and he lists other names. How is that convincing to someone, you know, who hasn't bought in yet, as it were, to this knowledge? Isn't it? I don't know, it just stands like So when you're reading,
well,
I
it's
guess
like sorry, go ahead.
No, I guess in ones of the Bhagavatam, it's highly elevated text, evolved. It's not just any old people that, although we do distribute it, but yeah, I'm just saying. I don't mean in a challenging way. I'm not saying like that, but I'm reading it and I'm like, I know, okay, I'm aware of his first name. Okay, great, but yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Like,
well, it's one of those things that won't make any sense to a brand new person for the most part, but the principle will be understood that the author is referencing these persons. Just like if I say, oh, well, you know, whatever, Tom Cruise did it, and this one did it, and that one did it, and you know, we think, well, that'll make a difference if someone, but then some older person might not know who it is, or even a younger person these days, or that was the Beatles, they did it like that. And it's like when people, you know, young people are like, well, who the heck are the Beatles? But you've still made the reference to something that's come before that was substantial. Just because they're in ignorance doesn't mean that the principle doesn't carry. They might not accept the authority, but as time goes on, then and this is how Prabhupada's books are layered. Like, you know, you keep reading, and every time you read, then like you read this and you're like, as soon as you read the name, the 4 Kumaras, of course the Kumaras are involved in this pastime. Narada, and you think about all Narada's pastimes. Prahlad, you think of the 7th canto, Lord of Shringadev, Janak Maharaj, the Ramayan, Shukadev Goswami speaking the entire Bhagavatam. You know, it's like they become like little windows into immense pastimes, and then you realize, oh wow, these persons accept, you know, that. But in the beginning, which was what your question was, it won't make sense who they are, but the principle, just like I think at the beginning of most of the books, there's 4 or 5 people from universities. This one's from Johns Hopkins, this one's from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, this is from IIT. I don't know who those people are. You know, but they got a PhD after their name, and Prabhupada here says they're Mahajans, they're great personalities. So, anyway, that's my thought on it. But Prabhupada really stressing here the importance of giving knowledge. That knowledge is the highest welfare activity that you can do for someone. You can give them, and not just any old knowledge. Of course, that's accepted also in the global, you know, sectarian society, that giving knowledge, you know, what's that saying? You can teach a man to grow food, or you can give him food, which is higher. Obviously, you educate him so that he can take care of himself. But on the spiritual platform, this isn't just mundane knowledge. This is like the highest knowledge that will liberate and free you from the, you know, material world of all suffering and repeated birth and death. So it's very powerful. So Prabhupada continues, knowledge of Krishna is such a great gift that it is impossible to repay the benefactor. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj requested the Kumaras to be satisfied by their own benevolent activities in delivering souls from the clutches of Maya. The king saw that there was no other way to satisfy them for their exalted activities. The word Vinod Patram can be divided into 2 words, Vina and Udapatram, or can be understood as one word, Vinodapatram, which means joker. A joker's activities simply arouse laughter, and a person who tries to repay the spiritual master or teacher of the transcendental message of Krishna becomes a laughing stock, just like a joker, because it is not possible to repay such a debt. The best friend and the benefactor of all people is one who awakens humanity to its original Krishna consciousness. Wow, so much in there. I wish Prabhupada had explained the other meanings of Vinodapatram. But this word that if you become a joker, it kind of makes sense, but it also can be a little discouraging. You think, well, if I'm going to become a laughingstock, why the hell would I even try to repay the spiritual master? I wouldn't do it because everyone's just going to laugh at me. So it's obviously such a laughable thing that why should I even do it? But I don't think it's meant that way. I think it's meant, at least I'm pretty sure, like Prabhupada's intention is to say that it's laughable to think that you can do it, Not that we don't try to do it, we still should try to do it, but those who are in the know are just like, there is no way you can repay the spiritual master. And, I think you said earlier, like, we can't repay. Once at the end of this life, we'll realize. But I was thinking this morning as I was reading Prabhupada's books, how, and I think I shared it in my reflection on the group, but that Prabhupada has already liberated us from so much suffering and so much difficulty. And he's given us such a blessed life. I mean, it's just complete blessed life that we have, despite the propensity to still complain and criticize and, not be satisfied and happy. But Srila Prabhupada has given us such a blessed life, even while we're still alive. We're living a life that's pretty much liberated. And that can be anyone. If you're waking up in the morning, you're chanting the holy names, you're worshiping the deity, you're offering your food to God, you're associating with devotees, you're reading the books, you're like, hello. Most people that get out of bed and smoke a cigarette, drink a cup of coffee, and, complain about life and hate the world. And, it's like, anyway.
That's what you did.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people used to do. A lot of people just wake up and start smoking marijuana or drinking or doing drugs, or just right straight out of bed just to get themselves going again, because they were partying so hard the night before, just trying to find some satisfaction, something to make them happy and make them feel like they have a place in the world, But it's true. If you know what I'm talking about, you can put it downstairs in the section below. And if you think I'm talking a load of old rubbish, then you can put that down there too. I don't mind.
648. The great sage Maitreya continued, being thus worshipped by Maharaj Prithu, the 4 Kumaras who were masters of devotional service became very pleased. Indeed, they appeared in the sky and praised the character of the king, and everyone observed them. Purport. It is said that the demigods never touch the surface of the earth. They walk and travel in space only. Like the great sage Narada, the Kumaras do not require any machine to travel in space. There are also residents of Siddhaloka who can travel in space without machines. Since they can go from one planet to another, they are called Siddhas. That is to say, they have acquired all mystic and yogic powers. Such great saintly persons who have attained complete perfection in mystic yoga are not visible in this age on earth because humanity is not worthy of their presence. The Kumaras, however, praise the characteristics of Maharaj Prithu and his great devotional attitude and humility. The Kumaras were greatly satisfied by King Prithu's method of worship. It was by the grace of Maharaj Prithu that the common citizens in his domain could see the Kumaras flying in outer space. Very interesting. At the moment in New Jersey, they're all freaking out because there's these drones and they don't know where they're coming from. Apparently the White House has said you can't shoot them down, but they are worried about them. Which is, okay, like a lot of them, not one or two, lot. But here we see, we don't have no drones flying about. We have like pure devotees, demigods, Kumaras and other sages. So what a sad age we're living in, you know. That's one thing. But the other thing is, I think I'd be a little bit scared if somebody appeared, like you know, not on a spaceship. Well, that's also a bit weird, but like, just like, you know, I always thought like that I'd be freaked out, like, I don't know, Lord Shiva or someone walked through the door or just appeared in my room. But I was thinking, I'm sure they evoke such a safe presence that it's not that you get scared, you know? Like, it's not that they appear, you actually feel, wow, I don't feel so peaceful and happy.
That's an interesting point, yeah. Yeah, you probably feel like that.
But the point also, Prabhupada says that we are not, humanity is not worthy of seeing the presence of these personalities. Well, Prabhupada is worthy because I don't know if there's any tales in America, but definitely in London where we're from. Then Prabhupada saw, when he went to London, he saw in his lectures he would, and it's all documented by the way by different disciples, it's all documented, he'd say Narada Muni came, Lord Brahma came, I think he said Lord Shiva as well, no?
Yeah, it was kind of different.
Loads of people anyway. And then he'd say,
excuse me.
He said, you didn't see, did you not see? And they say, no, Prabhupada. But he did, because he is worthy. He says that humanity is not worthy for sure. My Lord knows who he was seeing and what interactions. You know, when certain maybe deities are being installed or certain major milestones, you know, like New York, London, this where he's planting the flag, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who knows who he saw that came to be a part of that installation and the groundbreaking ceremony in Mayapur and yeah, you know, like, for sure, I can't believe he didn't see Krishna Balaram running about, you know. Not to make this a weird thing, but yeah, Lord knows what he saw.
Yeah, we were just talking about that yesterday, the day before yesterday on Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur's disappearance day, because I came into the temple and we were setting up, getting ready, and one devotee came and said, oh, a lot of people here, because there was basically hardly anybody there. And I said, no, Prabhu, you just can't see them. All the devotees have gathered because we're glorifying Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And then Vasudeva Prabhu said, oh, isn't there a pastime like that from London? In London, don't you have 2 seats on the altar? And I said, yeah. I said, we have 2 seats, and one for Lord Brahma and one for Narada Muni, or it's Narada Muni and Shiva, or Shiva and Brahma. And like I said, in some places, devotees, one says Shiva and one says Brahma. Narada Muni always there. And they were like, wow, that's amazing. And I said, yeah, Prabhupada said that they come every evening for Gora Arti.
I know, right?
So like that.
How amazing. And those seats are there if you want to do a little Google search of the altar, ISKCON London. You can see the 2 little seats. They were there.
You did a Bhakti Vision on it, didn't you?
I did do a Bhakti Vision.
So you can check on Bhakti Vision.
But, yeah, there's there. That's far out, you know?
Yeah.
Prabhupada wouldn't say that just to be cheap. I mean, he was so against Sahajas and being all flimsy, you know, like, so if he said it, it's like, yeah, not flimsy. Whimsical.
Okay, thank you all very much for tuning in. Keep watching, and we'll see you next time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.